So hello gamers, there are a lot of optics in Phantom Forces, so today we're counting down the top 10 sights in Phantom Forces. Keep in mind this is not iron sights, I did that recently, so go check that out. Comment your favorite sight down below. I want to know which sight you actually prefer over all the other ones. I feel like it's going to be a lot of reflexes and coyotes, but comment down below anyways. I just want to get like a ton of comments and I want to see which sight gets the most comments. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. At number 10 we have the OKP7. This is a sight that's very good on like 3 guns in my opinion. But like not very good on a lot of other ones. The optic picture is cool, but it's not really the best. It doesn't really feel that accurate for some reason. Oh, I just got like a 300 sled headshot. As I said, it wasn't accurate. It is not far from being bad, and that's why it gets number 10. But it's not like the best sight in my opinion. I think overall a lot of the other guns, I mean sights, work on like a ton of different guns. And the only gun that I really use this one on is I believe the M3A1. That's like the only gun that I main this sight on. But at number 9 we have the mini sight. This is a pretty popular sight and a lot of people really like it, but in my opinion it just feels like a delta with a really annoying reticle, and also like the bars around the reticle are just really big and it just doesn't feel good. It just feels like a downgrade almost, like literally just a worse version of the delta in my opinion though. Let's see if I can cross map a guy with it though. Come on bro, can I hit these? Oh, 434 stud kill with the intervention with the mini sight, by the way. It's definitely an alright sight. It seems to be a pretty good sight on pistols, but you know, I usually use irons on pistols or the delta because the delta just feels better for me. Next up, we have the Barska Electro though. Also, shout out to the DDHB Reflex. It's not on my top 10 because I don't use it on any guns, but let's be real, it is a really good sight. And also, how did I hit that? The Barska Electro is a very nice sight. It is very similar in model to the Coyote sight. However, it is actually not the same. You can see that in one of my tips and tricks video. I can't remember if it's 1 or 2. I feel like it's 1. So go check out tips and tricks 1. Maybe I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, the reticle, it's definitely really cool, but I think it's probably worse than the Coyote. Imagine if I hit that dude. Oh, come on, man. I tagged him. That sucks. They have the same zoom and almost the same reticle, but I believe the Coyote has a slightly larger box, which makes it a little bit easier to hit stuff. And also it has just 1 dot. And this has this weird reticle, which seems like it would be good, but it's kind of just not as good. It's less simple, you know? You just want a simple one. But yeah, the Barska is not by far a bad sight. Just not my favorite, you know? Next, you got the DCL 120, which I'm rating on an objective level. Personally, I don't like this sight. It slows your aim speed and I believe your walk speed. However, it makes your gun feel more accurate. And it also makes your gun more accurate. I mean, it's not the best sight, but it is pretty good. Considering it lowers rotational recoil by like 5%, not a huge deal, but it is a difference. Objectively speaking, it has some of the biggest upsides of the sights in this game. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of it at all, and I would probably rather use any of the sights higher on this list. Then we have another objectively good sight, the Mars. If people could get out of my way, then I could actually show you it. Not only does this have less downsides than the DCL, I believe it has more upsides. I believe it lowers rotational recoil by 5% again, but oh my gosh, it also makes your hipfire recovery speed better. It basically has the effects of a red laser as well, and also you can use it to have a red laser. As you can see, I don't have a red laser on my gun, but I have a red laser on my gun. Another nice thing is that the AMT Terminator has the red laser a little bit higher, I believe, which can kind of be annoying because it's not exactly where your gun is shooting. But with this sight, that's not true. Ooh. Again, objectively speaking, this is a good sight. I don't really prefer it, but I would much rather use this and just alt aim than use the DCL 120, considering the DCL is just big and slow and it looks bad. And well, in my opinion, this is one of the ugliest sights. At least it's small. So yeah, in my opinion, this is probably like, I would probably use this on any alt aim gun unless I had AMT Terminator, and it's objectively maybe the best sight in the entire game. Next up though, you have the Reflex sight. Also, I felt like sniping today, so I'm using the intervention with these. It would probably be better to use an auto, but I just don't feel like using an auto right now. I don't know. Just sometimes you don't feel like using an automatic gun. This has a 1.5 times magnification, which is a little bit less than something like the Mars or the Coyote sight, which makes it feel like it has less recoil. It also has a really nice just dot. Is it obstructive? A little bit, but it's not a big deal, and I feel like this is probably one of the best sights. In my opinion, it's not the best sight, but I feel like a lot of people are going to say that this is the best sight in the entire game. And yes, I do use this on probably most of my guns. This is probably my most used sight, but I'm not really sure why. I feel like it's probably, I don't know, just not as good as some of the other sights. But yeah, it does take less kills. Maybe that's why I use it. It only takes like 285 kills. The Mars takes less, but like I said, I don't really use the Mars that often because on an objective level it's good, but I just don't feel like using it. I think the only gun I really use it on is the M231, and that's about it. Like the M231 is like the only gun that I'll use it on, but I barely use the M231 anyways. But then you got the Delta sight. Now a lot of people are going to say the Reflex is better than the Delta, and that might be true in your opinion, but due to the kill requirement of this and just how it works, I don't know why, but I just hit shots better with this. Not with snipers, but with autos. It's kind of hard to hit shots with like either of these optics. optics on a sniper. It's not really a sniper optic. I mainly use sniper scopes on snipers, which I know that's like a hot take, right? Nobody ever uses sniper scopes on snipers. Something about the Delta just makes it feel better than the Reflex. That's kind of just how it be sometimes though. I would rather use this on a lot of guns. Something about the triangle optic is so nice. And also there is the fact that it takes like 220 less kills. It only takes 60 kills instead of 285, which there is something nice about optics that actually take like no kills to get to. 60 kills, if you're pretty good, you can do that in one game and immediately have a really nice sight. So yeah, that's why I feel like the Delta is one of the best sights in the game. But yeah, that's just how I feel about the Delta. You can have a different opinion, it's completely fine. But then next up you have the Coyote sight. This is basically just a better Barska Electro in my opinion. I've used the Barska Electro over it a couple of times, but I feel like overall when you just have this dot, which currently I have white, it's normally red, but I like it on white sometimes. It's just better to use this. Also, it has like a bigger like box around it or something that makes it a little bit easier to like see. It also has a 2x zoom, which a lot of people might not like. It feels like your gun has a little bit more recoil. It doesn't affect the recoil, but it just feels that way. But that extra zoom can help you like hit shots better, and it's also less obstructive than the Reflex. I used to use the Reflex on all of my guns, but then I started using Coyote on more and more guns. This is also probably the best Reflex sight for snipers and DMRs. It just has such a good optic picture as well as having a 2x zoom, which makes it easier to hit shots. But then you got the final two, starting off with the AMT Terminator. The AMT Terminator is essentially the best version of All-Tame. It's incredibly easy to hit shots with because it has this like kind of, I don't know. The zoom level of it is very nice because it feels like you have no recoil on a gun that has a ton of recoil. All-Tame is also really easy to see where your tracers are going and just hit more shots. And while it's not very good on like snipers, it's incredible on any fast shooting gun, maybe even slow shooting guns, but like it depends. Personally, I use it on my G3, which is kind of a hot take. A lot of people think that's weird. People are like, what the heck? Why are you using that? It completely eliminates camera recoil, which basically means that you don't have to use a folding grip ever again. You can just use stubby on everything and get your recoil actually lower, which is really nice. Plus, like, it's All-Tame. It's so nice. Look, this is the normal All-Tame of the MP5K. It feels really high recoil, but then you do this and it's like, I think it's less zoomed in, and that's just better. I don't know, man. Less zoomed in equals better when it comes to All-Tame, because the less zoomed in you are with your All-Tame, the lower your recoil is, I guess. Oh yeah, did I mention that it has hipfire benefits because it actually has a red laser? So yeah, it will make your recoil recovery speed better. And something else about your hipfire, I can't remember. Watch my laser video. If I remember, I'll put it up at the top right. It's called something like, I don't know, Ultimate Laser Guide. I explain every laser, including the AMT Terminator and the Hera CQR grip and the tri-laser, the red laser, the green laser. Go and watch that video, please. Heard him drop. But yeah, if you have an automatic gun, even if you have a semi-auto gun, it might still work. You don't have to zoom in and like not see anything. Like, this is zoomed in. This is with actual aim accuracy, but you still have just as much FOV. Well, not technically just as much, but if I was on normal FOV, it wouldn't zoom in at all. And if I had lower than normal FOV, it would actually zoom out. It's just that if you have higher than average FOV, then a one-time zoom will actually zoom you in. And for the final sight, the sight that I think is the best in the game, I'm gonna have to purchase it, which apparently I have one kill on the Plague Insight on the G3, which is that is interesting to say the least. But yeah, the Plague Insight is basically, imagine a scope version of the DCL 120 where it has a one-time zoom, but it doesn't actually have the downsides. It's incredibly slim and it also looks really cool, but it doesn't slow your aim down sight speed, which is kind of broken in my opinion. Oh, they should add it to the game, and then they did. Also, I just headshot the guy through a wall. But yeah, this is gonna be like, it's gonna be kind of a monster on most guns. That guy just actually got outplayed. But yeah, the normal aim, of course, isn't very good, but you just gotta press T and then you get the All-Tame. The All-Tame is the one-time zoom, literally a scope that can actually zoom out if you have low FOV on, which is just kind of funny. And yeah, you can tap fire with this scope too, and you'll have no camera recoil. It won't be super zoomed in, which is kind of annoying, I guess, but like, I don't know about it on the G3. I just bought it because it's my most kill gun. Maybe I'd prefer the AMT Terminator, but on most guns, it's so broken. Like, it just works for the HK416, maybe the AK47 and the AKM. This is more consistently good. The AMT Terminator is going to be really good on a lot of guns. What about the VCOG on the G3? Oh my. But yeah, that's going to do it for the video gamers. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.